I I just started the broadcast, so we're recording. Um, yeah, step four is tricky. I've finished steps one and two, and I'm working on step three and four. But yeah, they're very tricky.
Yeah, I feel like I just put in every input possible. Like I did every form of VLOOKUP and age lookup, and I don't know why I just can't figure out how to make the graph look right. And so, yeah, if Ryan, if you could show us, that would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So if you get, well, here, so I've never actually done this before, but let me try and screen share.
Okay.
Just because that'll make it easier to kind of explain. Screen share, screen to share. That's not. All right, can you guys see that now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me move this. Hold on. Move it over there. Cool. All right, so this is the instructions. So steps 1 and 2 are pretty easy. Step 3 is really what set up step 4. And what I did is I kind of made this graph right here in my own. Here's my final graph or whatever. So it's going to get pretty confusing, but it makes sense to me. So I'll kind of show you guys what I did. So here's all the information they gave you. I know in the video, he minimized the financial history summary because he didn't use it. I just left it there and just moved my data all down. Because once I started adjusting that, it started screwing with things because I did it kind of afterwards. But right here, I don't know if this is what you guys did, but for this data, for step 2, I set it up like this, where I put the data, the cash, accounts receivable, inventory, fixed assets, then the years, and calculated all those. And then I figured out whatever you selected from the drop down, this is what the totals are going to be. And that's how I anchored it. And then I used that exact same step for step 3. So step 3, I created a row just like he did here, where I put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yada, yada, yada. And then the years, the way that I set up the years is I did the year that we want to do as the input as my last column here. And then I just altered over. So if 2014 is my input, then 2013 would be whatever this was here, -1 would be -1, would be this -1, then that -1, then that -1. So whatever I adjust over here, so 2015, it automatically adjusted over here. And then sales, I had it set up so it would look up the value of 2011 over here and input it right here. So I don't know if that's what you did as well, McKenna.
I'm so confused.
Sorry, I'm not really good at explaining. I know what I did, but I'm trying to.
You are great. I am just trying to.
So this is for number 3. This isn't for number 4 yet.
Okay. For number 3, I got a really good looking graph, but I'm going to have to backtrack a lot to figure out how I got it. Here, I'll show my screen with you. But yeah, so I got my graph looking really good. I don't know if you can see it, but I would have to yeah, I'd have to really backtrack. I used a whole calculation sheet, and this is just I'm pretty sure this is where I got my information for that graph, and I don't know if that's correct. I never did that input. I just wrote the years out individually. I never did that -1 thing that you were talking about. But I just highlighted this and made a graph out of it. So
question for you. If you go to your dashboard and you switch years, does your sales margins and profits that you just highlighted automatically adjust?
Yeah, so look at if I don't know if you can see my screen, but let's see. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, so this thing does not adjust, but I didn't like the graph doesn't adjust, but does it need to adjust because like it's already like there's already a marker at every single year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so the way that I read it was that whatever year, like you're only supposed to have 3 years of input, 2016, 2015, 2014. Nate, I don't know if you read it the same way, but you're only supposed to have 3 years of data, and then it's whatever year you choose plus the 4 previous years.
Yeah, that's correct.
So what I did here, if you look back up on mine, so my year right here, if I select 2014, all my graph all switches for the year that I selected plus the 4 previous years. So if I switch over to 2016, it'll show 2012, 13, 14, 15, and 2016. And my assets by year selected, my pie chart also adjusts.
Oh, crap. I feel like I'm going to have to start from scratch. Sorry for my language.
That's how I understood it. Nate, I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. It's supposed to show the last 5 years from whatever year you select up in the left-hand corner.
Yeah, no, that makes more sense. Okay. All right.
So that's why I put the -1, because I wanted to be able to put, so if you look on my data sheet right here, where it says row number, line, and then the years, this 2015 is actually anchored to reflect whatever my year says. So if I change this to 2016, this is automatically going to change to 2016, and then everything else is going to adjust as well, minus the 1, minus the 1, minus the 1, minus the 1. So if I change it to 2014, the first one will be 2010 again.
And how'd you get it to do that?
So the 2016 that I have highlighted or my cursor over, I anchored that to equal my input right here, my year.
Right.
My drop-down menu. So if I put 2000, so whatever I select here, so if I put 2014 in the cell, this equals that.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then I just did the one before it is going to be whatever this input is -1, and then 2012 is going to be this input -1. I could have technically done the input -2, input -3, input -4, but either way, it's going to give you the exact same results because it doesn't take whatever the import is here and subtract how many years it is prior.
That makes sense.
This chart that you're in right now, this like
this one?
Yes, exactly. Did you just copy and paste that out of the original income statement?
No. So what I did.
So I see you've got formulas in there.
Yeah. So what I did is I copied this right. Oh, hold on. Don't do that. Okay. So I created this right here where I did row number, and then I started with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, kind of like the video showed.
Okay.
And then I did line item, and then I did copy this part.
Okay.
Because that's all the same. So then what I did for my formula is I did the horizontal lookup because it's horizontal. Okay. And I did, I got to read this. So I looked up the value of 2010 in this data over here for this category.
Gotcha.
Okay, so data 2010 sales.
Yes. Well, here. So I'll put. There's the formula that I used.
But,
so I did the horizontal lookup.
Remember that the top. So the years have to adjust.
Right. So that's
the years adjust.
Right. So if I change 2016, this will change to 2012, which means this will then look up the value of 2012 under sales.
So what do you anchor?
So the only thing that I anchored was the year that I want as my input.
Okay.
And then in my formula, no, don't do that. Okay, hold on. Okay. That is bad. Cool. I love the undo button. Over here, I anchored the year, which is right here. So M whatever for this particular set. And then I anchored the data.
You didn't anchor 2010. You just anchored whatever that year is.
Whatever the cell was, right?
Okay.
because that cell's going to change to 2011 or 2012 depending on what my data is that I'm looking at. So if I change this right here to 2016, this will turn into 2012, and then this will say, oh, well, now you want to look up the value of 2012 under number 2, sales. So it goes to the second column, looks over to 2012, and says 93,074. Does that kind of make sense?
Sort of.
Like I know what I'm talking about, but like I'm trying to explain it because I'm not like
all this stuff like sort of makes sense, but like, and I think I get it, and then when I'm like about to do it, I like get so confused.
I had the exact same problem. Like this was probably the hardest mini project that we've had so far. Like I would almost rather do that exam again.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This was hard. Like steps 3 and 4 were extremely hard because there's a difference between like the vertical and the horizontal, and then I wanted it to go over X and down Y, and like it wouldn't do it. So like it took me probably about an hour for just number 3 alone, and then about an hour and a half for number 4 alone.
Oh gosh.
To like figure out the form. Once I figured out the formula, it's like it was easy because it was just kind of a plug and play.
So here's another question for you, Ryan. So when did you have to do that for each column? So like.
No. So here's what I'm going to show you. So if you look on this formula here, it says HLOOKUP, yada yada yada, and then it says 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because sales is the second row down. Remember, this is a horizontal lookup, so it's going to go down versus over. Now, if you look down, I'm going to go down to direct labor. I did 3, 4, 5, 6. I did do that for the first 2. Then I got smart. Then I realized, oh, I put the row here.
Right.
So for 2012, I actually just put the cell K46, which is 2, into my formula. So when I went to go drag it down, it automatically, because I did not anchor it because I wanted it to go down as well. So this one automatically pulls up K47, K48, K49, K50. So it saved me a lot of time doing that.
So if you entered the row number into that, let's see, right beneath 2010 where it says 70, or like 70,178. So if you were to anchor that row, could you essentially just drag it down and drag it across, and then
no, because if you anchor it here, so in the 70,000 that I have highlighted, and then drag it down, it's gonna anchor this 2. Because but you could, if you wanted to, you could anchor the 2. And then you could drag it across, but you would have to go back up here onto the formula bar and make sure that this first digit you select, this N45, in this case it's the Q45, you have to go through and change that to 2000 to whatever this is. Because if you anchor, so like this one's M, which I have it anchored because I want it to change as the date changes, you would have to go through and change this one to N, this one to O, this one to P, this one to Q. But you could do it.
So did you just basically manually fill out each column then?
So for these 2 right here, yes. Because that's when I like when I got to these 3, that's when I realized, oh, I put all the rows right here. I can just put the data and then just have it dragged down. Because K46, this one's going to go K47, this one's going to go K48, 49, down, 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 down.
Don't anchor it, but you just select the row. So
right. Exactly. So I selected the row that one needs, and then I dragged it down, and it automatically. Because if you look up here, everything else is anchored except for the row. So it's going to say, okay, this whole thing is going to be 2010. This is going to be our set of data, our table array for the entire thing. But the only thing that's going to change is which line item we're going to find and input that value.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Nate?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm asking a billion questions. I feel bad. This meeting has to be over.
You're good. I asked a lot of questions the first couple of times, so like I'm glad I can give back.
I am feeling so frustrated that this one's so hard. Because if you like miss one little step, it's like throws the whole thing off. So
yeah. And then the other thing hold on, let me review the instructions. Cause I did this one yesterday and then I started messing with number 8 and it's just kind of thrown me off. Yeah, so then you have to do, so what I did is I brought down the sales contribution, the sales, the contribution margin, and the net profit here. As you can see, I can put basically this square right here, or this cell equals whatever date this is. This date equals whatever year this is. This year equals whatever year this is. So when these change, this right here will automatically change.
Okay.
And then this right here, I went through sales. I found my sales up here again for the same year and just copied it and put it equals that cell. So when anything of these change up here, oh, hold on. I don't want to, okay. Nope, don't do that. So when any of these change, this right here is automatically going to change as well. You could copy and paste, but it would probably mess it up because of, I don't know, actually. It might work. I don't know. I just put equals the cell because I knew this data was right, and I didn't want to mess up anything. But you probably could just put equals, whatever. You could probably just put the formula down or copy and paste and move on from there.
Okay.
So then this is where, you said that you had the problem. So this is my number 4 right here. So basically what I did is I took the same thing. I did the row and I did the line item, copied and pasted those. The same thing for the year. I set up my initial value here, and then I just put -1, -1, -1, -1. So anytime.
And 2014 comes from the dash.
That all comes from here. Yep. So if I change this to 2016, I go over here, it's 2016 now.
Okay.
And same thing for this one up here, 2016 to 2012. So, and then what I did is I took, and this is what took me forever to figure out, and I don't know why, because it seems really simple now that I'm looking at it again. So I basically said, okay, sales in this cell are going to equal sales in this cell, right? So in order to find the percent of your sales, which is this cell, you have to divide this number. Basically, in this case, it's going to be by itself. So for direct labor, I said M47, which is M47 is right here, divided by total sales, 93,000, is going to give me a percentage. And then I put it in percent form. So it's going to be 25.3. Okay. Does that make sense?
Sort of. So you didn't have the percentages there to begin with.
Right. So I created all of this. So I went through and said, okay, the total variable cost for 2012 is going to equal whatever this number is up here, the 55,282, and as a percent of my sales, it's going to be divided by 93,074.
Okay.
And that gives me 59.4%. So that's how I set up this table right here.
Did you anchor sales, or did you like?
Yeah. So what I did is I did my first one here, where I did the number. How do I explain this? So for direct labor, I put M47, so M47 divided by sales, and then I anchored sales because that's not going to change, and then I just dragged it down.
Okay.
And as I dragged it down, it went M48, M49, M50, M51, M52, M53, and so on and so forth. And then I just did the same thing for here. So because 2013 is in the end column, I did the exact same thing. So I did the value of the sales divided by the total sales, enter, and change it to a percentage. Because I think I got like 1, and then I just changed everything to a percentage. And I just did that all the way across. So again, whenever these numbers right here change, all this data is going to change. And then because all this is anchored or equals all of this, it's also going to change.
Okay. Whoa. Then, holy cow.
And then this was the hard part right here, because I was so confused on how to do this. There's my formula that I eventually figured out. Let me change this real quick just because it makes it easier if it's not 100%, 100%. So as you see, like if I change direct to direct labor, this is the percentage of direct labor of sales throughout the year. Mm-hmm. And then if I change my year, everything changes. So my financial information, my assets, and my percentage of sales. So direct labor, we'll go back to 2016, financial statement. So what I did here, I did the vertical lookup because these are all going to be vertical. Hold on, I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm trying to think how to explain this best because this is where I kind of got whatever. So I did the vertical lookup because it's going to be here because you want the column.
Right.
So I did the vertical lookup of summary C3. So summary C3 is where I have missed that. So sorry, let me rephrase that. So vertical is going to be this way. So what I did is I said, I want the value of whatever this is here, so direct labor, and I anchored that. And you're going to find that information right here. So this is where I kind of started my lookup at. So this is the table data, the table array that I anchored. And then I said, once you look up that, you're going to go 2 columns in because of 2012 is 2 columns in. And then if it's not, you're just going to put false. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah. And so was this, so then you highlighted just that bottom portion where it says the year and line item to make your final graph.
Right. So what I did right here, again, I anchored my 2016 because I want that to equal whatever the year that I select is. And then I did 2015 minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1.
Yeah.
And then these values right here are all going to change based on whatever this is.
Okay.
Because remember, this all right here is all anchored based on this information, which is all anchored on this information, which is all dependent on this, this, and this. So my years will change across the board.
Okay. So really quick for your pie graph, did you use that? So the first set of data that you showed us where you had like the year anchored and then the year minus 1, year minus 1. So yeah, this one right below your cursor. So did you use that for the pie graph then?
Nope, I use this stuff up here. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I use this stuff up here.
Okay.
So because you only have to, because of the pie graph, you only have to have 3 years worth of data.
Right. Okay.
So you don't have to get into the 5-year history until steps 3 and 4. So you only have to have 3 years. And so what I did is I said 2014, 15, and 16 are my years.
I think I got
the total. Yeah, the total cash, assets, yada yada yada, and then I just did a pie graph based on the input. So what I did right here, this is the data that I used to create my chart. So whatever year is selected from the drop down, so if it's 2014, 2015, 2016, this data is going to equal my summary, my input.
Okay. Yeah, I think I definitely got the pie chart good. So I just have to go and start over halfway. But that really helped. So that's good.
Yeah, this was definitely by far like one of the hardest, like the hardest one. Like
I'm so amazed that you even figured that out from the directions, because I reread the directions like over and over and over again, like trying to figure out what it meant. Like I don't understand how you derived that from the directions.
Did you watch the video?
Yeah, I watched it a lot.
So his video was actually really helpful because he mentioned something about making sure you use this row and creating a separate thing based on your years. And I was like, well, let me at least try that, because I was at a dead end. I was like, I have no idea. These instructions don't make any sense. So I was like, well, let me at least try and make a table where I can isolate the 5-year data, and then it kind of started somewhat coming together. But like I said, it took me like, the whole project probably took me like 3.5, almost 4 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's better than me. I feel like I've been working on it for like 7 hours. So, okay, well, cool. That is super helpful. Yeah, I think with me, I just get the numbers after so many hours, like the numbers just get mixed up in my head.
Yeah, they just all look the same.
And then I'm like, literally, I have no idea what to do. So.
Well, and one thing that threw me off was like this 2009. Like you don't even need it. Like you could probably just delete that if you wanted to.
Okay.
Because I was like, well, how do I work 2009 into this? Because it doesn't even make sense. Like there's no 5-year gap. And then I was like, you know what? We won't even worry about that. Isolate the 3 years they want, and then kind of go from there.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, cool. I might text you, Ryan, if I have more questions. But
yeah, go for it. So I am in town until about this time tomorrow night, and then I will be on vacation. But I will have my laptop with me for like early mornings and nighttime. If you guys have any other questions, like let me know and I can try and hop on and see what I did. Like, because if I didn't look at this tonight, I couldn't tell you what I did.
Okay.
I try to forget about it. It's a painful memory.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm hoping to finish it tonight, but
yeah, let me know. I will be up most of the night, so just let me know.
I'm gonna try to finish it tonight too. If you need to text me.
Okay, perfect.
I think I get how to do it. So.
Okay. Where are you going on vacation, Ryan?
We're going to Magic Mountain in California.
Oh, that sounds fun. Okay, well, I hope it's not buggy
tomorrow. You're good. I mean, if you guys have questions, let me know. Like I said, I'll have all my stuff with me. I'm just trying to get all my schoolwork done in the first 3 days, so I don't have to like stress out about it. But
yeah, good idea.
Have you guys started number 8 yet?
Heck no.
Nope.
Okay. Number 8 is a lot easier. Like it is by far probably like the simplest one we've had.
Oh gosh.
Like it's pretty easy.
Okay. Whew, okay, well, I'm gonna go start this while it's fresh on my mind. Hey Nate, I don't know how easy it is to send the link, but would you mind just sending it to me just so I can like rewatch this video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Yeah, let me stop the